In this video, I'll be sharing with you the hacks I've learned to turn a box cake into a showstopper. And I will also be sharing with you why I believe everyone should celebrate their birthday. Hello everyone. If you're new here, my name is Angelica. I was born and raised in the beautiful country of Costa Rica. After graduating high school, I received a full scholarship to attend university in the United States, where I met my husband of nearly 30 years. I stayed at home for 12 years to focus on raising my children. Later, I pursued my passion for education, earning my master's degree and my national board certification in teaching. Join me as I share with you the life lessons I've learned while embracing new cultures, adapting to new places, and staying grounded in my roots, traditions, and values. I'm so excited you're here. This week is my husband's birthday, and although I have the fame of making the most delicious cake from scratch, having a full-time job and making a cake for 50 guests is quite a challenge. So when I'm short in time, I use box cake instead of measuring each of the dry ingredients I will need for the cake. Now, I learned from my grandma not to just follow the recipe, but to replace the basic ingredients they recommend in the box with better, more delicious ones. I started by replacing the water with orange juice plus a touch of vanilla. Then I replaced the oil with butter, not margarine, but 1 stick of real butter. I use 3 eggs as recommended, but I make sure they are at room temperature, and I whisk them before I mix them with the rest of the ingredients. I take the time to sift the flour inside the cake box. This helps break down any clumps and adds air to the flour. This makes the cake lighter and fluffier. In Costa Rica, we love to use dulce de leche between the layers of the cake. So while I'm baking the cakes, I cook condensed milk for 2 hours on the stove. I let it cool completely before I use it on the cake. In America, store-bought cakes are usually rectangular, so I like making mine round, just as an extra sign that they're homemade. As you will see, I'm not a fan of greasing and flouring the pan. Instead, I use wax paper on the bottom. Here's a bonus hack. As soon as you see that the edges of the cake come off the pan, it's ready to take out. You run a knife all around it, you flip it over, and the cake comes out of the pan perfectly every time. I like to make my own icing, Italian meringue buttercream. But as you can see, I only use a thin layer of it. So you can buy icing already made in the store. Just juice it up a little, like I did with the cake. Yellow cake and dulce de leche go perfectly with nuts, so I will use the pecans my friends gave me from their backyard to decorate at the very end. And that finalizes the showstopper cake we talked about. Now, let's talk about celebrating birthdays. Maybe the fact that I was 17 when I left my family, or the fact that all my children have had medical issues when they were little, or the fact that I only see my family once a year. But I have come to believe that every second with the people that you love is to be celebrated. Most importantly, you should let them know that you love them every opportunity you get. Now, how is this connected with celebrating birthdays? Well, through the years, I have learned that it matters how you show your love. One of the books that has impacted my life the most is The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. In that book, he talks about how people give and receive love in 5 different ways. So, knowing as a teacher that I am, that love and safety are the foundations of social and emotional health, this knowledge is life-changing. He mentions in his book that the 5 ways how people love are physical touch, like hugs and kisses, words of affirmation or appreciation, gifts, quality time, and acts of service. People usually feel love with 1 or 2 of these the most, but all of these should be expressed because they all matter. So as much as we love someone, if we don't love them the way that they like to receive love, they might not feel loved. Isn't that something? So this makes me believe that birthdays are the best opportunity to love people with all 5 love languages. The first thing people do when they come to a birthday party is acknowledge the person having a birthday with words of excitement about them being in their presence and celebrating how important they are. Those will be the words of affirmation. This is usually followed by big hugs and kisses, which gives the physical touch. Now you know what's coming up, right? The gift, which is usually something that the guest has brought thinking of the likings of the birthday person. So they get the gifts. The entire party will be about spending time with the birthday person, usually recalling fun occasions they have experienced together, which provides the quality time. And we can't forget that all this took place because people took the time to clean, decorate, and prepare food for the celebration, which is the acts of service. Here's the funny part. Many times, the party is offered by the person having the birthday. My grandma Jaji loved throwing her own birthday parties. Lots of cooking, cleaning, and taking out the best tablecloths for her guests. You might think that this doesn't make any sense, but it does. She received so much joy and love from the gathering that she didn't mind the sacrifice so that she could receive love in many ways as her reward. At the end, there is more joy in giving than in receiving. By the way, if you're enjoying this video and find value in the lessons I'm sharing with you, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or topics that you would like for me to address in this channel. My goal is to share the lessons I've learned throughout my life to inspire and help you make the most of yours. En ropa, vos dónde? Ajá, en verano, ¿eh? If you enjoyed this video, you might also enjoy this next one. Hasta pronto!